Hi, I'm Maureen, Babyface Riordon. I am a professional MMA fighter, kickboxer, and boxer. I also coach out of Easton Training Center in Boulder, Colorado. I started fighting about 5 years ago. Prior to that, I had my own massage clinic for about 10 years. I worked with chiropractors, doctors, did a lot of auto accident rehabilitation, sports massage therapy. I was the massage therapist for the Colorado Rapids for a little while. So pretty long history just in sports and rehabilitation. I am almost completed with my nutrition degree in Bachelor of Science, and I plan to finish that throughout the rest of my fighting career. I was drawn towards that with all the weight cuttings that athletes do, and they're not doing it very healthy, unfortunately. So I was really drawn to learn how to do it the healthy way. I also have a degree in elementary education, which has been great for teaching the Muay Thai class to the kiddos. And then I have an associate degree in massage therapy as well. I started training in 2010, and it was a complete accident. I just saw a pretty strong need to turn my life around, get healthy. I had never done anything athletic before. I went kind of the academic, nerdy, artsy route, and while that was very fulfilling, I spent a lot of time just sitting at my desk and being a smarty pants and getting a little overweight. So I started training just for the fitness side of it, and at that point I was beginning my writing career. I wanted to do motivational speaking and writing, and when I started training, a lot of people, because of how I looked and the lack of an athletic background, they told me it was impossible for me to go anywhere in this. And my message is, what's your possible? Just meaning that the only person that can dictate what's possible or impossible for me is me, and same for anybody else out there. So I saw a great opportunity within fighting to use that as my platform for my message. And I don't know, probably 2 months into it, I said, I'm going to go pro, I'm going to go far, and watch me. And I haven't done anything but combat sports between coaching, training, fighting for 4 years now. So, I can't say enough, honestly, about the KOOLCLAM. I had a knee surgery about a year and a half ago at this point, and as an athlete, especially I call it, a newfound athlete, since I didn't have all that athletic background. I was really enjoying this new active lifestyle that I had, and then suddenly I had this knee surgery that it pulled me off the mats for a complete year, and I had this big ice machine contraption that every time I had to ice, I had to just sit still, and I was, wired up to the wall basically. And man, I wish I had something like this at that point. I get both the compression benefit and the ice benefit. I can switch it out for heat, and you hear a lot of different theories out there on ice and heat, and even as a massage therapist, and I used to teach the program at the college as well, and you'd always hear all these debates with the students about which was better, the ice or the heat. And from personal experience and my own research, just that combination of the two. You have the ice to bring down the inflammation, and then you heat it to bring in the new blood cells, but that heat's going to cause more inflammation again, so you ice it again. And quite honestly, it's a huge pain. So be able to have something that you can easily switch in and out like that, and then also have the compression. The first thing that we tell patients is RICE. It's rest, ice, compression, and elevation. And I can get all of that with this. And then again, as an athlete, I can stay active as well, which is really important to me. Now that I'm coaching, oftentimes you'll see all the fighters, we get our session in between the classes that we teach, and then we immediately jump onto the next mat and start coaching. And I don't have the luxury to be able to sit down and ice afterwards. And it wouldn't be fair to my students to, sit on the bench coaching. So this I can, strap on after my training session and then go right onto the mat, and I'm walking around talking to my students, and I'm getting the best of both worlds. So I love it. I really wish I would have had this when I had the knee surgery, so I could have been up and about and staying active. And again, the ability to switch it in and out from the ice and the heat is amazing. I think the main reason my patients, when I was doing massage therapy, didn't ice or heat was because it was a pain. They had to go to work. Nobody could keep ice, in the little freezer at work. And with this, they absolutely could. It lasts all day, whether it's heat or ice, all the work days. So really wish I would have had it then. I think the biggest part about mixed martial arts for me that's been a benefit, aside from how fun it is to train and it's very empowering, it's you really learn yourself. I know more about who I am since doing this and being faced with all the adversities that you have than anything else I've ever done with my life. And I can't think of anything else that could give me that same comparison. It's humbling. I mean, you come in and you might be feeling one way or thinking one way about something, and it's completely different. And that could be to the positive or to the negative. Some days I come into training just saying, oh, I don't want to spar today. Today's not my day. And then I perform better than I've ever performed before. And so it's a great reminder that how we feel doesn't necessarily dictate exactly what the outcome is going to be, and that stick-to-itness that you get through this sport is just amazing. If you have ever used heat, or honestly even ice, getting rid of headaches, if you place heat or ice, and I think that one's pretty preferential, or subjective depending on what exactly your issue is. But I struggled with migraines for years, and sometimes there's no better way to get rid of one than putting ice over my face or putting a heating pack behind my neck. And most of them, they just don't keep the heat very well. Ice packs are really uncomfortable, so putting them on your face, if it's bare, then you're going to get an ice burn, which obviously you don't want to risk. And if you put the paper towels over it, it's usually not very comfortable. So this is really comfortable. It's nice and it's soft. It has that nice squishy feeling to be able to contour around your neck if you're using it for a heating pack or ice pack on your neck. And then it has that comforting weight as well, which I think is often a big part of ice or heat therapy when you're using it around the head, is just that nice pressure of comfort that it gives you. Probably one of my most memorable fights was in September of 2012. I went out to Kansas City to do a boxing match for Blue Corner LLC. They are a mixed card, so they have boxing, kickboxing, MMA all on the same night. And so I went out there for a boxing match, and we show up to the fight, and we're checking in to get our medicals done, and the co-main event was an MMA title fight, and it just happened to be the exact same weight that I was boxing at, and one of the girls just didn't show up on fight night. So literally 30 minutes before everybody was going out, the promoter asked if we knew anybody that could take the match, and I said, well, I'll do it. I'm here anyhow. So I went out and I boxed, and 2 fights later I went out and did MMA, and I won it was my first title, and I won a minute 42 of the first round by TKO. So that was a blast. In 2 weeks, on October 9th, I will be fighting for Glory World Series. This will be my second time fighting for the promotion. I fought for them last year in May when they came to Denver for the first time. It's an honor to be able to fight for them again. At that point, I believe I was only the second female to ever fight for them. I was very fortunate through my training to come out of that with the first female knockout for Glory, so it's pretty cool to have that inaugural under my belt, and I'm thrilled to be doing it again. Denver's the first city that Glory's ever returned to in the United States, so it's just an honor as an athlete to be on there again as a female, and then just a lover of kickboxing out of Denver, Colorado, to be able to have that twice. I'm Maureen Babyface Riordon, professional MMA fighter, kickboxer, and boxer, as well as coach out of Easton Training Center in Boulder, Colorado. I absolutely endorse the KOOLCLAM. I suggest it for everybody, whether you're an athlete, whether you just struggle with headaches, whether you're jumping on the plane and you want some nice heat therapy there. I can't think of a single person that couldn't absolutely benefit from the use of this product. Everybody has inflammation. Everybody could benefit from heat and ice, and the compression that it gives you as well. You can find me all over social media. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Babyface MMA for the handle. You can find me on Facebook at Maureen Babyface Riordon, all spelled out. And you can find me on Google Plus as well. And then I have a website, MaureenRiordonMMA.com. And you can even follow my podcast at babyfacepodcast.com.